The mental gymnastics these people are trying to do to not make it about their political rhetoric is wild. They are literally folding themselves into pretzels. So say, well, it wasn't our rhetoric. It wasn't. Yes, it was your rhetoric.
You have to kind of, but the internet is not real life.
Everybody here acknowledges that there have been thousands upon thousands of people, ordinary people, who have taken to social media to celebrate this, yes or no?
I don't know about that. I don't know.
I have high school friends who are.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I just think we should just, we got to be factual about this, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you know the scope. I don't know the scope. But I do think that we have to distinguish between random people in the world and something that is a dominant issue.
Because the person who shot a random person in the world, was he not?
Well, here's the thing.
That's the danger. You dismiss the random people of the world. They have access to weapons and hateful motivation.
Before, Scott, wouldn't you agree? And they're all reprehensible. And in this country, do you believe that in those political assassins in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, assassination attempts, that there were no Americans who cheered that on? I think the question is whether or not it happens. The question is whether or not we need to place that at the very center of our political world right now and categorize half the people in the country according to those random people that we now just happen to see because of the internet.
They are literally folding themselves into pretzels. So say, well, it wasn't our rhetoric. It wasn't. Yes, it was your rhetoric. What is the left saying? He was full of hate. He's a bigot. He's a fascist, a Nazi. Again, here's a little bit of the left calling people on the right fascist.
Kicking the shit out of fascism looks like. Try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us.
So when we say Donald Trump is a fascist, fascism.
For example, this is what Democrats all over social media are saying. He spent a decade.
Yes, ABC holds taxpayers-funded broadcast license with the explicit legal duty to serve in the public interest with fair and truthful coverage. Yet Jimmy went on air and told the ABC audience that Charlie Hassan was a MAGA conservative, effectively blaming Charlie for his own demise. Then he accuses the right of covering it up to score political points. All of these statements are false and malicious lies told at the expense of one of the most horrific acts of left-wing political vow in American history. If ABC refuses to issue a full on-air apology from Jimmy, yes, if ABC refuses to issue a full on-air apology from Jimmy and corrective action, their broadcast license should be revoked by the federal government immediately. I saw this, I was extremely worried, like, why would these people do this every single time?
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie, anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this. Fourth stage of grief, construction.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot. I think that there are corners of the internet where people, like you said really well, flatten people into characters. And there are people that are saying no love lost for Charlie Kirk. It's just, that is more rare, I think, than the outpouring of people who said, we do not want this kind of violence. That is not, like, seeing Charlie's was really traumatizing, I think, for a lot of us who are in this space all the time. And what my little verklempt right now, I think, is what we're seeing a lot, is that it's been a very traumatic week for people. I think that there has been no time to sit and think about that grief and unite in that grief, because apart from Governor Cox, no one has really been talking like that. No one has really been trying to unify. We haven't had a forum to see those other sides. But I think if you look across media generally, you have seen a lot of people trying to grapple with Charlie Kirk's legacy and what that is as a right-wing agitator and as a provocateur and as, a strategist of the most important GOP figure besides Donald Trump, arguably ever. And so, or right now. And so there's a lot of grappling to do, but to suggest that the internet is cheering for this is just the opposite, total opposite of what's actually happening.
This is crazy. Yes, I don't know if these people actually even watch or even watch some of these videos circulating on social media. Thousands of them. I've been updating people about this topic for days now. I believe people have seen a lot of people, celebrating. But according to MMBC, there is nobody celebrating. When you turn on MMBC, what they call it what? All BS. This is what they're talking about. This is just in line with what Jimmy said. So you will see the kind of crafted narrative they're struggling to deviate away from what is going on. And this has triggered a lot of people. Like, why can't these people be truthful for once? Don't take everything, and politicize. A person was fired on this network for simply saying things like this. That was an example, I believe, but this lady can't even still understand.
Others' throats politically. I think that's a dangerous place to be.
Why did I do it? I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out.
So can I ask you? So
he has
Scott, just explain what you just read.
That is the message that the shooter sent to his roommate. That is what he said. He also engraved the word, "Hey, fascists, catch," on the bullet. For 10 years, we have heard nothing from the left but that Donald Trump is a fascist. Republican libertarians destroy the Constitution.
But that's
bloodbath.
So can I ask
dictator
you?
for a day, and he wrote it on the bullet.
So can I ask you?
And he's been obviously marinating in some kind of information that radicalized him based on what he heard in the air in this country.
So does the shooter who assassinated Melissa Hortman, who was a stated Trump supporter, whose roommate said
Are you
he was
trying
a
to equate these
does
two
he
things?
represent?
I'm sorry.
Can you let me finish my thought, please?
Please.
We're talking about two people in politics who both.
I'm asking you, does that shooter represent the entirety of the MAGA movement? Of course not. I would never argue that. I don't think you would argue that. So why is it acceptable to use this moment to argue that somebody, a sick individual who committed a horrific crime,
How do you know he's sick?
is somehow Are you here to argue for his sanity?
I'm here to argue. All I know is what the prosecutor said today. He read very lucid messages from a shooter who was motivated by political hate, who had a plan to get away with it. He did not sound like a deranged person. He sounded like someone who had decided to take it upon himself to rid the world of someone that he hated politically, that he thought that the world would be better off without that. That's different than some deranged lunatic showing up off the street.
His actions were horrific.
See what is coming out of CNN. I'm glad that Scott is here to call out this BS. She's now sounding like this guy was not okay. From all the informations I've seen, there is nothing wrong with this guy. He was all right. He was feeling okay. Yeah, until he feels like this was the right thing for him to do because he hated him. There is one thing I really want to see. The people this guy was having all this discussion on Discord with, yeah, they should be able to investigate to see if they actually have a group or they have similar conversations, things leading up to this. You might end up realizing this person is not the only one. This is extremely concerning at a certain point. When I see CNN constantly putting out this BS like this, it worries me.
We want to update.
He's been one of the most divisive.
We don't feel like ourselves. We haven't felt like ourselves in a while. And I'm sorry to get political, but I'm just going to be honest. We haven't felt like ourselves since Barack Obama.
That hateful rhetoric.
That the assassin acted alone.
Not everyone took to his words or
this, who is constantly sort of pushing.
You're running for president, or you're running for one of the.
So you can see who these people really are.
Is there too. We're also, and I'm kind of saying this to you, but also asking our